Welcome to Lead Like a Girl, where we are empowering everyday women through our stories. I'm your host, Jessica Smith, and I began this journey by sharing my life story. Now, I've joined forces with my longtime friends, Jamie and Corlin, to keep this party going. We met many years ago as young sales girls in our 20s, driven and quickly rising to the top of our industry. As the years went on, life happened, and we all found ourselves in new companies and completely different industries, still striving for success in it all. Career, family, faith, fun. Now, it wasn't easy, but we never stopped moving. Get ready for our real conversations, inspiring stories, and our big life lessons as we share it all. The good, the bad, and the funny. Welcome to Lead Like a Girl.
All right, welcome to Lead Like a Girl podcast. This is Corlin showing up with my two besties. I've got Jamie here, and I've got my good friend Jessica. We're back for another podcast. How is your week, ladies?
It's been busy, but we're here and we're ready.
I don't feel like we got to pick something else other than say that we're busy. I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and I just said, we cannot say that we're busy. We got to pick something else because everybody's busy. How else are you besides busy?
I am complete. Can you hear me? I'm completely grateful. I'm not going to jump into the podcast and take over anything, but I have to tell you guys two things that I purposely did not say anything about this in our talks earlier. But I was in front of a panel and I apologize, I just have to do this. I was in front of a panel of 6 people a couple of weeks ago, and not going to say when, where, what, anything. Just going to say that I was asking them about I was asking them about the company that they work for, and one of the questions that I asked them was, hey, what's your goal for diversity and inclusion in your company? What are you doing what's your goal and what are you doing to meet that goal? And also I asked them, what do you guys do for community involvement? What do you do for engagement? I want to know what your goals are as a company for these two topics. I never, ever would have asked anybody these questions prior to both of you teaching me so much about this. I haven't ever included that in my conversations, and I want to just start whatever by saying thank you guys so much. I those were two things that have been on my head, in my mind, for a couple of weeks, and I love that you both introduced me to being strategic about asking those questions and just making that a priority in the people that I work with and I deal with every day. So thanks. That's all. Okay. Thanks. That's my
And I love it. Thanks for sharing that, because those are great questions to ask any company if you were looking to, not that that's what you were doing, but if you were looking to work for a new and you were in an interview.
In general,
it's great to have those questions. But when you're dealing,
that's
thanks,
like a whole
guys.
nother. That I'm glad you brought that up. Let's make a note. That's a whole nother episode right there, Jamie.
That'll be episode 27.
Yes. Make a note of that.
So,
yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, so speaking about learning each other or learning from each other, we started this a couple weeks ago. We have our beginning segment called First Minute Fast. So I have a question for you, ladies. Are you ready?
Ready?
This is a big one. Good. Oh, you guys, if you were just listening, I got a little nod and a half ready. So we're going to see what happens.
Let's go.
Okay. So my first minute fast question is, tell me a skill that you have that sometimes people think is a negative skill, but it's shown up to serve you really well in life.
Oh, well, mine is quite obvious. So I am
your beautiful face. I'm sorry.
So I am
it's the most beautiful
open,
thing. Okay.
honest, and direct. So yeah, so that is a skill that I have.
And, some people say it can be a gift or a curse. And I think for me overall, it has been a gift. And I have learned over the years how to grow that skill in a way that I think I'm able to be open, honest, and direct in professional environments and still keep it professional and not be rude or obnoxious. And so, yeah, I think that's mine.
That's great.
That's so you. And you're so polished. And I love that about you in particular. I love that about Coraline. You guys are you come across professional in every way all the time. I love it so much.
And that was taught by a previous person that taught me especially when people on a closing table were just like downright just mean or rude, how to actually cuss someone out and nicely put them out, but nicely and
but not completely ruin the relationship, because we still need to get to the end of the finish line.
There you
get
go.
The yes.
Yeah.
Have whatever it is that you want, but we're all still making friends and influencing people.
Yeah. No bad words, just with, still with kindness and love, but in a stern way that you just don't get to speak to me that way without using those words. But anyway, yes.
But very just professional, polished, professional. You hold your composure, right?
Absolutely.
Did she answer the question?
No, wait, what?
Jamie, what's your skill?
Yeah.
So mine is the complete opposite. So I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this literally, Coraline, you brought this a little bit to our attention at least a week ago. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. I have a million flaws. I say like a lot. There is no positive to that. I don't know what to, but
you speak in similes. I think that's what that is.
I like haikus. I don't know. But the thing I was thinking about is just some comments that have been made to me that basically explained, that I come across unpolished but real. And just today I was talking about
there's a compliment in there somewhere. You got to find it.
I know. So today I was called folksy. And I was like, what the does folksy mean? So the definition is informal and unpretentious. So what I would consider is a flaw of me not being very polished and maybe not having the perfect words to say in front of every single person and in front of every single situation. What comes across, or what I've been told comes across, is authenticity and realness, and just, you're just like me. You're a regular girl just like me. Yeah, you might be more successful than me or less successful than me, but we can connect. And so that sort of genuineness comes out of me being, I guess, folksy or whatever. So kind of the opposite of what Jessica said. I love that she comes across confident and empowered and just super strong. And then on the flip side, I think both of us, though, can also come across as just very real and authentic and sometimes crass and whatever, but people gravitate towards people that they like. And I think we had kind of talked about that like and trust, building like and trust aspect. And people want to deal with people that they like and they trust and that are like them. And sometimes that is the very professional side, and sometimes it's the Let's go pick.
Yeah, I think realness can show up and look different on different people. But I would say, for the record, the negative connotation of folksy or whatever that word is,
I know, folksy.
I would never describe that as you. I think that the positive side of that is you. The negative side, I don't think so. I'll pop in and say my answer really quick. This sounds a little cliche, but I landed on the reason that made me think of this question is that I was in a conversation with somebody that I work with, another guy, and at some point we had talked about multitasking. That is a talent of mine, I feel like. And the conversation is how the difference between the way that women clean versus men clean. And I was explaining to him the way that I clean versus the way that my husband cleans is I ask my husband to clean the kitchen, and he cleans the kitchen. Nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. When I clean the kitchen, I clean the kitchen, and then I grab some of my son's clothes and bring him to his room, clean up his room a little bit, and I grab a pencil that was in his room, bring it back to the kitchen, start cleaning a little bit, bring something that was mine in my bedroom, and I'm multitasking 7 different rooms at the same time. And so in about 45 minutes, the house is clean. But I didn't focus just on, I said that I was cleaning the kitchen, but by some miracle at the end, the whole house is clean at the same time, and then we can move on with life. Can you relate to that at all? Jamie, you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No.
The room is near the kitchen. It makes sense.
We're just like collectively doing this.
Yep.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing, ladies. That was fun. It's always nice to learn more than we thought we knew about each other. So segueing into our topic for the day, multitasking is a little bit to do with that. But what I thought we could talk about today is this big conversation around FOMO. FOMO, by definition, is the fear of missing out. And I think that is a real struggle for people in general, women in business specifically. And what made me think of this is that I was listening actually to another podcast, and they were talking about how FOMO and just the fear of missing out gets us to overcommit ourselves, make rash decisions, make decisions that we wouldn't normally make. We do things maybe that we wouldn't normally do or aren't aligned with where we want to head because we have this rational or irrational fear that we are going to miss out on something. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how this concept of FOMO shows up in our life, what we do to handle it, and how we can make better choices as women to avoid it in the beginning. So I want to ask you guys, what is your feeling on FOMO? How does FOMO show up in your life? What does it look like for you guys?
Jamie? First thing that comes to my head. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks. No, please.
Jamie, you go, but I'm going to talk.
Right.
No.
I thought you needed a minute or two. I don't know. I don't know that I've thought about it. So I'm glad that you brought it to my attention. But I feel like when I think about overcommitting myself, which is most of the time, I had to really think about like, what's that why behind that? And I guess there is, something about fear of missing out. And there's 2 parts to fear of missing out for me. It's I'm going to miss out on something, or without, and I say this humbly, someone else is going to miss out on me of something. And so I guess I didn't think of it that way, but that is the case. And it's contradicting to what I always say. I always tell people, listen, what's for you is yours. There's nothing that can change that. And I guess if you think about what you would miss out on, you wouldn't, but we don't think about that, right? We're just, for me, it's yes, 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 just because that's usually my answer.
Jessica, I'm going to have you repeat what you said. I think maybe your microphone cut out a little bit, so I want you to repeat what you just said because I think it's important.
For me, it's always yes. And when I think about why I'm saying yes, is because I don't want to disappoint others. And so when I'm asked to do something, it's just usually yes. But maybe somewhere there is this fear that I'm going to miss out on something or miss out on the opportunity to contribute or to help someone or something like that. So there's my thought around it.
I feel like there's been circumstances where I've shown up in a situation where I felt like I needed to be a part of something because I didn't want to miss out. And I've shown up and it served me well. The outcome was great. And sometimes it's shown up where, man, I really wish I didn't come to this or didn't do this or I didn't commit to this thing. Do you feel like, Jessica, that falls more so when you commit to something that you have a fear of missing out on, that the outcome is positive or more negative, do you think?
So I'm very conscious about how I show up. So if I say yes to something, I'm not half-assing anything. Like I'm going to come and so because of that, I would rather drive myself and my entire family crazy to make sure that I do it and I do it well. But it's happened. It absolutely happened. I feel like it just happened. I took a role in Toastmasters, and I don't think that I did the best serving that I could for that term because I totally overextended myself. And I wanted to be a part of it. And so I didn't show up the best way. And I look back at that and say, I probably should have said no. And I didn't. And to your point, I don't think I showed up my best. I know I didn't show up at my best. So absolutely.
Jamie, how about you? How does having fear of missing out show up in your life?
I can relate so well with what Jessica just said. But I might put a little bit of a different spin on it. I know, I'm horrible at saying no. People have told me many times in my life, like you do these things for other people and you don't give yourself time or whatever. This last spring, I started a new job. I tried to take on Junior League, Girls on the Run coaching. I'm part of I have a food business. I was doing Habitat for Humanity. There were so many things and I had to say no, but
that is a lot.
There's so many things. But I was almost the opposite side of that where I went, I don't want to miss out on all these things that I wanted to be part of. And I didn't necessarily have the good and to back it up 20 years. I mean, we all three worked for the same company, and I have told my two older daughters, they asked me long ago, why weren't we in T-ball? Why didn't we do anything? Why weren't we in? And I was like, I worked every night and all weekend. I couldn't do that for you because I was working, because I was trying to make money. And now my youngest daughter, I'm going to her softball games and I'm going to her golf meet and I'm going to these things. And I feel guilty about it because on the flip side, you're like, okay, I'm trying to make up for it. It's not necessarily, it is the fear of missing out. But it was also the choice of the circumstances that you were in. So, I don't know. I'm horrible at saying no to stuff. And to be quite honest with you, I was hoping with this podcast or this episode that we could open this up for suggestion because I'm really not good at it. And I would really love tips and tricks on how to be better at that. Cause there are so many things that you want to be part of. You want to help your community. You want to help your family. You want to better yourself. You want to better your career. You want to be a better friend. There's just too many things pulling at you. And I'm a failure at that. And I would love to know, honestly, I'd love to know what you guys have to say and anybody would have to give me in terms of tips and tricks for that. Because I'm bad at it. I don't think I'm the only one.
No, I think that is the challenge, because I think that our personalities specifically, but I feel like a lot of our listeners probably feel the same way, is that you want to show up as your best self at work and be the best mom and be the best spouse or significant other and be the best Habitat for Humanity person and all the things that we sign up to do. You want to be the best t-shirt maker and the best carpool or like all and show up. And it's just, there's not enough energy, time, resilience, anything to show up as your best in 1 million different things without something eventually breaking. And so I guess I would throw out an idea is that I had listened to this, I think actually it was a sermon a while ago, but maybe the fear of missing out is not saying, and I'll bring this up again, maybe it's not a no, but maybe it's just having us be able to say it's just not yet, or it's just not right now. I want to do that. I want to show up in this way. I want to be the best in this particular thing, but having the freedom to say, this is not the season for that right now, because, and I think it goes back to the bigger picture is, are we setting goals in our life? And what we're saying yes or no to, does that reflect where we want to head? What are goals? And I think, Jessica, you could probably speak a lot to this because you are probably
Amen,
the absolute
sister.
best goal setter I have ever met in my life. Like, is it on your vision board, or is it a picture on your vision board, or is it not? And if it's not, yeah.
No, you just took the words, like when you were saying that, that's exactly where my mind was going. Because as we're talking, I'm trying to think of how to manage that. And I think that is right there the key. And that is, you have to set your goals, and you also have to make sure that whatever you're doing.
Okay, Jessica, I'm going to stop you again. You cut out again. Say that again, because I think this is important too.
That. Yeah, I'm going to throw this whole thing out of this window here. Technology. So
it's okay.
No, I think that's the key, is making sure that, first of all, your goals are prioritized. A lot of times we like to set like 20 goals for the year, and realistically, like there's no room for that. So you have to prioritize your goals, and then, bless you, Jamie, everything that you do. Am I back? I'm not back. I'm back now.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Everything that you do, it needs to align with your goals. And if there's a fear of missing out, and there's like a hesitation, can I actually do this? Can I take this? Do I have the bandwidth? Look at your goals. And if it doesn't align with those goals, then you're not missing out on anything. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that it's hard though. I feel it's high for me. It's hard to set goals that are outside of it, because I think I set a lot of goals, but they're not SMART goals, right? They're not specific, measurable, realistic, timely, all of those things. And so that reflecting back to what I'm doing or what I'm not doing, there's not a specific goal to reflect it back to. So it gets a little wishy-washy. So I think that taking your cue, I think at some point we need a picture of your vision board at some point on one of our websites. What are some of the things that you have? You don't have to get super specific, but that are on your vision board, or things that you want to see happen that you can help you say yes or no to things.
Oh, so glad you asked, Corlin. So one of my top goals on my vision board is to have an investment property at a place that's near the beach by the end of the year, or maybe beginning of next year. So again, when I think about going on a vacation between now and the end of the year, one of these vacations better include looking at an area that is a potential area to buy an Airbnb. That's a perfect example. I can go on 10 different other vacations, but if one of those vacations are not a potential place to buy, then I probably don't need to go. That kind of answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I think that because your goals are so specific, it's very easy for you to say, hey, this is going to work for me, or no, it's not. And it's very visual, it's written down, it's in your face. You look at your board every day, and it makes it very clear, I think.
Yeah. I'll give you another example. I still need to lose another, 15, 20 pounds. So do you think that I'm going to make time to go out and eat or drink every week or every weekend? No, I'm not, because that doesn't align with my weight loss goals. So why would I do that? As a matter of fact, it is a complete contradiction and will probably move me away from my goals, because going and eating out and drinking doesn't equal weight loss.
I love that because, and I sat here, I wrote this down because I love the fact that you said, if this doesn't align with your goal, are you really missing out? And I think that statement right there, I thank you so much for saying that, because I think truthfully, if you just wrote that out, put it in front of your face every single day, you had your measurable goals right and just said to yourself every single day, week, month, whatever, does this choice align with my goal? Yes or no? If it's no, then you're really not missing out on anything. If the choice of going out for drinks and apps after work on a Thursday afternoon or whatever it is doesn't align with your health goals, then it's no. If, I'm going to purchase this Louis Vuitton bag instead of investing that money into my savings account for my investment property.
Not doing it.
Oh, sorry, I muted. But you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Wait,
but I'm going
to take it in I'm going to take it in a real quick another direction here. If your goal is to look for a husband and be financially stable and to stop dating guys that are deadbeats and have horrible jobs.
That's some wisdom that you bring to the table to like people in your circle too. That you show up very authentic and very firm with people who ask you about dating advice. Is that?
Oh yeah, no, I'm the friend. Don't tell me about your new boyfriend, because I have questions, and then I'm gonna judge you.
I think that, do you guys think that this concept of fear of missing out has gotten worse for our generation versus our parents or women that are older than us? Or do you think it's gotten better?
I think women that are older than us, our parents, did not have any fear of missing out, because they did not ever miss out, because they did not take care of us. And we were 80s children who freaking showed up with a stab wound and the mom said, "I'm on the phone." Literally, they did not do that shit. Love my mom, but I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, and it wasn't. No, that's not being a bad mom, by the way. Yeah, that's not being a bad mom.
I'm just saying they did not have a fear of missing out, because they did not miss out.
Well, but also understand that social media, all of the world that we live in today, creates something that we think we're missing out on that wasn't the case back then, right? You just had whatever, keeping up with the Joneses, that was a thing. But that was like, okay, they bought a new car, or, she wears this cute dress on Sunday. Not to the level that it is now. That's like a whole new thing. So to answer your question, I think it is far worse now. I also think that keep in mind that back then, being a successful woman was taking care of your kids, cleaning the house, and taking care of your husband. So that was success. That's what success looked like. Whereas now we're trying to do it all. So no, it's gotten worse. It's gotten way worse. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. We've not only tried to do what our parents are doing, plus we're trying to do 19 other things to keep and be super successful in it all, and show up on social media and brag about how amazing we're doing these 3,000 things are.
Yeah.
So the question is that we've got a little bit of time left. So briefly, I just want to, so what's the solution? What is for our listeners, what is the one or two things that you guys would suggest? How do we squash the FOMO, be happy with what we're missing out on, and move on with peace and satisfaction? What do we do?
Well, first of all, I plan on, being very wealthy so that I can have a nanny and a house cleaner and a cook and all those people.
Okay, false answer. Go again.
So that way I will not be missing out on all of that. No, but on a serious note, I think it's just, again, it's prioritizing. It's setting goals. I think I'm going to stick to that answer. It's setting goals and really being true to your goals and having realistic, like you said, smart goals, and just saying, hey, if it doesn't align with this, then I don't need to worry about it. I'm not missing out on anything. What's for me is mine, and God will make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be to receive that. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Jamie,
that.
what do you got?
I want to piggyback on that. I loved what Jessica said about just does this align with my goals? But I think step one for me, the takeaway for me is to set the goal, like to make sure that I know what I want in the future. I know 100% what is important to me, my family, and my lifestyle, and set that goal as a priority, and then everything kind of falls down from that, right? So I've got this thing I want, I've got this property, vacation, savings account number, what health goal, whatever it is, and then just everything else that I check in with, making sure that it aligns with that. And that's my takeaway from that. And then also something I sent to you guys today, which was just that weekly check-in of, okay, what's my weekly goal? What's my daily goal? What's my monthly goal? What's my yearly goal? And how do I feel about each one of those things? And I think having that in mind is really going to help. For my takeaway from this conversation, that's going to help me figure out, am I missing out or not? Maybe I'm not missing out because that doesn't really align with where I want to be. Maybe I am missing out because that does align with where I want to be, and maybe I should have done that, and next time that opportunity presents itself, I'll do that. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah, and I think of just being at peace with that too, is just giving yourself the ability to say, I actually want this for my life and not that. And that is 100% okay. I remember I was listening to this sermon back in the day, and I will always remember this. It's what he said was that the comparison is the thief of joy. Mm-hmm. And when I've always remembered that, because I am one person that I think that, it's like, I'm always like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Well, who cares what they're doing? Does it align with what I want and what we want for our family and for my career and for my little boy and for my circle of influence? And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, that's fine, because we're all different. And that's the joy of us as humans, right? We're just not cookie cutter people. And so being okay with that is a good thing. So, well, guys, we are at time. I thought this was a great conversation. Thanks for all of the things that you added. Before I sign out, I want to remind everyone, all of our listeners, that we have got, if you want to see us in live action and see Jamie sneezing that you didn't see that, or coughing, or Jessica rubbing her nose, watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on all of the podcast channels, so give us a like and subscribe on our podcast channels. We also have a fantastic website housing tons and tons of Lead Like a Girl merchandise. We're at leadlikeagirllab.com. And a big part of all of our merchandise sales is that 10% of all of our sales are going to go to support some pretty fantastic organizations that support women and girls here in the United States and all around the world. So with that, we appreciate your listenership, and then stay tuned to next week, where we've got some more things to talk about on Lead Like a Girl. Have a great night.